Hello viewers and good evening to this episode of Time with your Banker and Financial Advisor. This program is sponsored by Securities and Exchange Commission and Paradise Water. Today with me is the Head of Research and Policy at the Securities and Exchange Commission. His name is Mr. Emmanuel Ashon-Katai. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
What a new way to cool off and quench your thirst. And now everyone is enjoying the surprising experience of Paradise Pack treated drinking water.
Hi.
Join the refreshing experience and enjoy the all-new Paradise Pack treated drinking water. Paradise Pack treated drinking water. Drink pure, live more. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Again. I want a mix. Again. I want again.
Again, we in good shape the whole day. Again, we always want more and more. Again, Dule, Tam Tam, Savannah. Again, Isusu.
I want to give.
Dule, Tam Tam, Savannah. Dule, Tam Tam, Savannah. We want more.
Welcome back from the break. This program is sponsored by Securities and Exchange Commission and Paradise Water. Mr. Ashon-Katai, good evening.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for making time again to come on the program.
Thank you too for having me.
Yeah, Mr. Ashon-Katai, we want to discuss the Ponzi scheme in general, and then we can caution Ghanaians to know where to put their monies or invest so that they will not fall prey to this kind of Ponzi scheme. So what is a Ponzi scheme?
Well, thank you for having me. And I'm very happy that we are here to discuss Ponzi scheme. That has gripped a lot of Ghanaians. Thousands of Ghanaians are crying for having lost their money to a whole lot of Ponzi schemes. So it's good to educate the Ghanaian public about it. Now, Ponzi and pyramid schemes sometimes are interchangeable, but there are slight differences between the two. And Ponzi schemes are generally, it's an investment scheme that is designed in such a way that investors are paid with fresh investors' money.
But where did the word Ponzi itself come from?
Well, Ponzi came from a certain man who lived in the United States. In fact, he was an Italian migrant to the US by name Charles Ponzi in the 1920s. Coupons to purchase postage stamps were quite a lucrative business. In the US, those days when they are writing letters, you have to add coupons so that the recipient could use it to buy stamps to write back to you.
Yeah.
So what they did was that...
Or maybe even add some stamps so that...
Exactly, they could write back.
back.
So what they did was that he saw that stamps in Europe were so cheap, far cheaper than in America. So he saw an opportunity to do business in that area. So quickly, he designed a business model to buy those stamps to America and then sell it to Americans for profit.
He will buy the stamps from Europe.
From Europe, send it to America.
For profit.
And then the margin on it, they share. He shares it with other investors. Then he saw that was an opportunity. He had a very good business intention. But later on, he saw that no, it couldn't work. So he had to use it, turn it in a different way. So he promised his investors that, look, if you invest so much into my
coupon business.
Okay, coupon business. I'll give you 50% return every 45 days.
50%
returns every 45 days.
I see. That was way back 1920.
Yeah, 1920. And I tell you, within an hour, he was able to rake in $3 million.
Wow, within an hour?
Within an hour, he was able to rake in so much money.
$3 million.
It was so lucrative. Right. So initially, he was able to meet his payment obligations until the bottom fell out.
So
and it was discovered that
new monies were brought in, you used it to pay off the old ones.
The old money. So the money never get invested. It is never invested in anything. Normal investment is supposed to be to go into real sector of the economy, into business activity, economic activity to grow. But Ponzi schemers don't put the money anywhere. So they just take the margins on it and enjoy the money. So that's how can we have Ponzi scheme. So his Ponzi scheme was so elaborate that it caught up with the American public. He was arrested and jailed over there, right? So that's how Ponzi schemes operate, right? And pyramid schemes. So that is
where the word Ponzi came from.
That's where Ponzi came from.
From the man Charles.
Exactly. But before then, there was another pyramid scheme by one Sarah Howe.
A woman.
A woman.
Wow.
Long before Ponzi came on the scene, but he was caught and jailed 2 years.
She was caught.
She was caught and jailed for 2 years. Yeah, and then he operated a pyramid scheme. You see, there are slight differences. With Ponzi, all that you need is you tell investor, look, I'm going to give you so much return. You know, so that becomes a trap. Something like an inducement, to investors to bring the money. That is how it works. But in pyramid scheme, the originator must first find some investors, right? Who in turn must bring on investors, who in turn must also bring investors. That is how they build their money. So for instance, it happened in the UK. There was one scheme that the fresh investors had to give the originator £3,000 each. So let's take, for instance, he's able to lure 10 investors to each pay £3,000.
That makes it
£30,000. So he asks each investor to bring investors, also paying £3,000. All right? Then we say if you bring £3,000, I'll give you, let's say, 6 investors' money to you. So 3 times you get, so you pay 3,000, you get 18,000. Quickly in return. And then when
you don't pay them back,
you don't pay.
Isn't it in the form of a loan or something?
It's not a loan. It's your return.
for introducing.
For introducing an investor. So the difference that is given to you is your return.
I see.
And those investors, when they bring, they also get, and you also continue to get.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
As you are bringing in money.
That's right.
You are taking somebody else's money away. Oh,
and then the originator also gets some. He keeps some. So if you bring 10 and you each pay 3,000, maybe he give you 6 and he takes the 4. So he's also making money. You're also making money.
So what happens to those 10?
To those 10, they too must bring on board people for them to also get something. So it becomes a pyramid until they are not able to get investors.
Building it up.
They are building it up. It becomes a pyramid. So the originator sits at the top. And in fact, we have 2 types of pyramid schemes. We have the product type and then what we call the naked pyramid schemes. The product type is very common. You know, I've seen it in Ghana several times, particularly with health products. So they will tell you, look, we are selling this product. If you bring 10 people, before you join, you pay so much money.
I see.
Bring 10 people.
I don't want to mention names.
Yes. Okay. Bring 10 people.
They said it started in South Africa or
They
something.
said, yes. Bring 10 people.
From the US.
Yes. Bring 10 people. Pay this. You pay an initial amount first. And then when you bring people, you also get the same thing.
Yes.
But they use the product as a camouflage. Meanwhile, when you look at the value of the product, it's nothing. They can't give you that return. When you sell the product, actually, you do the actual sale of the product, it will never give you that return. They
so
use
that one is a pyramid.
It's a pyramid. We call it product pyramid. And it's all over the place. When you see the value of the product, it amounts to nothing. Right. But we do have what we call multi-layer level marketing That one is a different thing. But this kind of pyramid scheme, the product is worth nothing. Right? It is the money. They want to bring people, you get money, and that's how they build up the pyramid. But the naked one, they say it's an investment. That one, there's no product attached to it. That's what we call naked pyramid scheme. So it's very common. And I think the public ought to be well educated in some of these things.
So if somebody comes and says that I am selling this product,
yes,
and that it's a value chain product.
Exactly.
So if it is a scheme, if you want to enter into it, you have to pay maybe 50 Ghana cedis. Initial. And then when you introduce other people, you'll be getting commission.
That's how they,
in the introduction of other people.
That's right.
And when those other people to introduce people,
that's
then they will all fall under you.
Exactly.
And as they are coming in, you are getting commission.
Commission, that's right.
That is a pyramid.
It's a pyramid. And normally you use the product to measure the returns. How much is the product? Is it worth the return? You see?
But some of them don't even sell the product. They are just there. They have put their money down.
That's right.
And then they lure other people to come and join.
Yeah, that is what we call naked pyramid schemes. There is nothing attached to it. It's naked pyramid scheme. But the other ones, they camouflage it. Right? So Ponzi schemes are becoming highly sophisticated across the world. Of late, we do have Ponzi schemes. They will say it's based on gold. When you are buying gold. Now we have cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
Also coming on board. As pyramids, Bitcoin. And Bitcoins is not related to the real economy at all. What are they investing in?
I spoke with a guy. He will come on the show soon to come and explain how that one also operates.
No, it's basically, it's not an investment. It's like betting. Even the US does not regard Bitcoins as currency nor an investment. All over the world, it's not. Bank of Ghana has issued directives. It is not a currency. It is neither a payment system. So it's a way of betting. And the youth are highly interested in it. It goes up, it comes down, like betting. So that is it, so all over the world, IOSCO, that is the International Organization of Securities Commissions, has asked security regulators all over the world to issue regulatory warnings to the public about Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies, and the rest. They are not investment products at all because they are not linked to the economy in any way. Now we even have what they call ICO, initial coin offerings. The companies ICO, initial coin offerings, is very common outside. Very soon it will come to Ghana.
God forbid.
Well, yes. I mean, we live in a global village. It is already here. It will come. What they do is that companies issue coins in return for money. But the coins is worth nothing.
What kind of coins? Silver
coin? It could be silver coin, it could be gold coin, it could be anything.
Diamond coin.
That's right. And people go for it. Take it that the value will go up and they'll make money. They'll make returns.
When you can't even sell that
You can't even sell it anywhere.
So why do you go and buy a product that you can't sell?
No, it's like betting. You believe that the price of that coin will go up. And then when you sell it, you get some returns. That is the belief.
But this is not shares.
It is not shares. That is why it is not linked to the performance of the company. So
you are enriching somebody.
Somebody. That is it. And then you are taking all the risks on yourself. That is it.
Why is such thing becoming common? Is it because government or institutions that are monetary institutions are not giving the right interest rate or to their investors, or is it lack of education, or I just don't get it?
You see, well, I don't want to say it. The human being, sometimes we are moved by, we call it greed. People say this is greed. We want to get rich quick. It's a rich quick scheme sort of thing. You don't want to struggle, You want to get rich fast. And it's easy. And sometimes I really don't want to use the word greed because it is easy for anybody to fall to it. You can be the most educated person. The thing can be so sophisticated that can easily confuse you. Let me tell you, I remember in 2004-05, we went for an investment program in the US, and we met him. And he came to give a lecture on how he's able to make good return. Normally, made of his clientele are the rich people, the top, the celebrities. He doesn't like poor people because he says poor people makes noise when you use their body, anything. They'll bust up and demonstrate it against you. So he doesn't take small money, big time. So his client base are the rich, the nouveau rich, right? Because they don't make noise. And over the years, he gives them rate consistent, let's say 10%. If you invest, you get 10%. Now, his is a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a very clever guy. He used to be the chairman of NASDAQ in the US.
Okay.
And also was a founding member of NASDAQ. And a well-respected person at USSEC. They do even consult him on certain issues. Yeah. Yes. Unassuming. And his company is registered. He has a SEC license.
Okay.
He was a licensed operator. So how can you suspect him to be doing a Ponzi scheme? That is it. So he gives 10% return
which is
on
not
dollar
too
investment.
bad.
It's not too bad, but it is difficult to make.
But reasonably,
Reasonably,
if you bring this idea to Ghana,
that's
giving
right.
a 10% on an investment for
that's
a
right.
year,
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
It's not too bad
if you are able to invest the monies properly.
Properly, yes.
Yeah.
But he wasn't investing. He wasn't investing the money. So he was giving returns of 10% to his rich clients. That is what he does. And if you want to challenge him, he will call you and give your money back to you with interest. That I'm sorry, I can't deal with you again. I'm changing my investment strategy.
If you challenge him.
If you want to inquire, that's how Ponzi schemers operate. If you try to be inquisitive, they buy you out of the scheme.
So that keep quiet.
Keep
Take
quiet.
Your money and go.
Yes, let me deal with others who can be quiet. That's how they behave. And he did it consistently. And normally they come out with, he said, in America it's a sophisticated market. So he was able to convince them that he uses what he called algorithm investment strategy. Algorithm.
What
investment.
is algorithm?
It's a computer-based system. He uses computers.
Mr. Jokata, viewers will take a short break. We'll be right back.
What a new way to cool off and quench your thirst. And now everyone is enjoying the surprising experience of Paradise Pack treated drinking water.
Hi.
Join the refreshing experience and enjoy the all-new Paradise Pack treated drinking water. Paradise Pack treated drinking water. Drink pure, live more. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Again. I want a mix. Again. I want
Again, be in good shape the whole day. Again, we always want more and more. Again, Dule, Tam Savannah. Again, Isusu.
I want to give.
Dule, Tam Savannah. Dule, Tam Savannah. We want more.
Welcome back, viewers, to this interesting and educative discussion on Ponzi scheme with Mr. Emmanuel Ashon-Katai of the Securities and Exchange Commission. This program is proudly sponsored by the Securities and Exchange Commission, Paradise Water, and Dole Yogurt. So you were talking about algorithm investments.
Exactly. These Ponzi schemers, they always try to confuse. They like to confuse people. So he came up with this strategy, algorithm investment strategy. And according to me, he used computers.
Computers to generate
and within seconds, he will assess your investment profile and appetite. and the same computer will do KYC on you, know your clients on you. And
I
the
see.
computer will know where to put your money into,
Hey.
and then he, where to put your money. He'll buy some plain vanilla products, then he'll buy some derivative products, some futures, some options, some swaps, and swaptions somewhere. You buy some hedge funds here, buy commodities here, and that is how come he's able to generate 10%.
He's on the foreign exchange market.
Exactly. He
using
does computer to do so
that.
he does it to confuse everybody. And in fact, when we were there, he was trying to do some calculations. A Japanese was sitting by me, and he asked me, "I do understand the guy." And I said, "Well, you are from Japan. You have a sophisticated market that we do. If you don't understand, can I understand?"
So where is this gentleman,
Now-
this smart gentleman?
Madoff was able to do the pyramid, the Ponzi scheme, ran it for 20 good years.
20 years.
20 years. So
Because before he was caught up.
before he was caught by, in fact, what caught up with him was the financial crisis, 2006 to 2009, thereabout. Because the financial crisis, people stopped investing.
Oh, okay. And people would demand their money.
Were demanding their money. That is where he became exposed.
I see.
And he was able to make about $65 billion.
Wow.
Yes.
65.
$5 billion over the 20-year period.
This is a chunk of our
$65
GDP.
billion US dollars. He was able to scam American investors. $65 billion US dollars.
So where is he now?
Now he's in jail. In the US, their law is so swift. He was jailed for 150 years in prison. 150 years, so he's still there.
150 years.
150 years.
How old that?
Oh, he will die in prison.
No, man. What is your lifespan?
That is it.
You've been given 150
That's the nature
years.
of the crime, where they do the charge sheet and they added up.
For the past 20
For
years,
all
they
the
were
guilt,
adding
yes.
the guilt,
Everything.
everything.
150.
All your
counts.
charges goes
That's
with
right.
a particular year.
Exactly.
So as they brought it
They
together,
brought together,
he
he had 150 years.
But
That
what
is
are
it.
the characteristics, the key characteristics of Ponzi scheme that
Now,
one should be aware
Yes. Now there are 5 or other, 6 characteristics that the public should be aware of. 1, first you look at the rate of return. If the rate of return is unrealistic compared to the norm, you have to be suspicious. Like they will tell you, give you 10% every month. If you multiply 10 by 12, you get 120%. So what kind of business can give you 120% return?
of. That is the question. 10% a month.
A month
Times 12.
times 12,
120.
120. And there are companies in Ghana, still there are some in the system we are trying to deal with. They are giving as high as 70% a month in US dollars.
70%
a month in US dollars.
When the currency is frustrating
Oh,
like that.
even in US dollars, 70% every month we
That's
give
it.
you.
Because if you, the currency is not stable.
It's not stable.
So if you are giving 70% on an investment,
That's right.
when the dollar goes up,
Yeah.
you are still giving 70%.
That is what they are
and
giving.
the dollar is not coming down.
And the public believes in that. People are sending their money there.
70%.
Yes.
What at all will this company do with your money that can generate 70%?
These are the exact questions you should ask before you put your money there. But people are sending their money because the early investors are being met. Every month they go for the money.
So they keep advertising.
So more people come.
They
Tell
keep
the thing is
praising.
true.
The
Yes,
thing is,
it's
you
true.
have gone for my 70%.
70%. Look at
So
it.
you,
It's
look
true.
at it. So you
That is
also
it.
bring your money
Also
and
bring
take
your money.
70%.
Exactly. So that is what is happening. So unrealistic rates is one thing that you should look at. Now the second point is constant rate of return. Constant rate of return. They will say, okay, every month we give you 4% a month consistently. We have to be suspicious because investment is a risky thing. It fluctuates. It goes up and down. Investment goes up and down. Last year the stock exchange index was high, positive. This year it was in negative.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And every investment is like that. It cannot go up all the time. Neither can it be constant all the time. That it's not a characteristic of investment. Return.
So when we talk of frustrating, sometimes it can go up,
sometimes it will come down. That's the nature
so
of
it
investment.
should not be consistent.
If it's constant, they know that this is Ponzi.
So if somebody invests 100,000 Ghana cedis this year at a rate of 18%,
exactly,
does it mean the percentage should change next year?
It can change if consistently every time 18, be suspicious. It could be a Ponzi. He's taking people's money to pay you your 18%. Because that is not the nature of investment. That is not the characteristic of investment. Investment fluctuates. So when you look at the curves, it goes up and down. Market conditions can change. There can be competition, a whole lot of things. Profits can come down. So investment is not a static thing. It has to fluctuate, and it fluctuates all the time. So that's the second point.
Our time is up.
Okay.
So we'll continue next week.
Right.
Because it's been very educative.
That's
Viewers,
right.
we've been having this discussion with Mr. Ashon Katai of the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a very educative program. I would advise that you follow the series because these things are in the system. If you don't get educated, you end up putting your monies where you should not. And at the end of the day, you will not be able to recover your hard-earned money. The word is hard-earned because it's not easy getting monies these days. And it's very painful that you put your monies in investment you expect to have returns. And at the end of the day, you go and it's zero. You don't get anything. Your money also goes down. So please try and listen to us next week so that we'll all be educated and be wise when we are doing our investments. Thank you for watching Time with Your Banker and Financial Advisor, sponsored by Dole Yogurt, Paradise Water, and Securities and Exchange Commission. See you again next week.